What's going on, guys? I'm Steve. Welcome back to the Dynamic Reason channel. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. You're a returning subscriber as always, guys. Welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. Guys, a little over, 3 weeks? Desmond Mills Jr., one of the Memphis 5 officers, came out publicly and took a plea deal, thus making him go against the other 4 officers in the Tyre Nichols case. Now, new information has came out. We've been over this story since the beginning, and we've been following. You know, I've been on it. You guys have been following me. Y'all been on it. Here's the latest. This just broke a couple of hours ago. The 300 plus hours of video supposed to be released to the public is going to go public. They didn't say when it is and you know what it entails, but it gave a little bit of vision into what it has to do with. Now, I'm gonna show you a video. When I play this video, I picked up something, and I want to see if you guys picked it up too. Now, I was paying attention to this case very closely, and I mean, I heard Emmitt Martin, Emmitt Martin III's lawyer say this multiple times, and only he's the one that said it. And I want to see if you catch this and put it all together after watching this video. I'm going to tell you something. The attorney for Emmitt Martin, they're going to have to do something unconventional to try and save this man. And I want to see if you pick it up. Let's go to the video, come back and talk about it and the details of what this news story entails. Let's go.
Evidence, new attorneys, and new court dates. Today, we learn new details in the trial against the former police officers who are accused of killing Tyre Nichols.
Let's go to Fox 13's Kayla Solomon live in downtown Memphis. Kayla, one thing that did come out of court today, we found out the reaction to his co-defendant changing his plea.
Yeah, Daryl, we not only got the reaction from one of the other attorneys who said he was surprised, but we also found out there's more than 300 hours of both video and audio that attorneys are still trying to comb through. It's part of the reason why they asked for that pretrial motion deadline to be pushed back by a month. Now, here's more from the attorneys on the reaction to Mills changing his plea.
It was a surprise, yes.
Attorney Bill Massey says that was his reaction when he learned that Desmond Mills Jr. would be pleading guilty to some federal and state charges. In early November, attorneys for Mills said he planned to cooperate in both the state and federal criminal cases, signing a plea agreement that changed the plea from not guilty to guilty in some charges.
We're moving forward as planned. That's the reason Mr. Johnson and Ms. Goodwin are here.
Massey, on the other hand, says his client will keep the not guilty plea, and he's brought in help. Massey announced 2 additions to Martin's defense team, Knoxville attorneys Stephen Ross Johnson and Catalina Goodwin.
We're here to prepare the case for trial, engage in the investigation that needs to be engaged in, engage in the pretrial motions practice that needs to be conducted, and to try the case. That's what we're preparing to do.
In Tuesday's hearing, a new deadline set to file a pretrial motion where attorneys will get to take a look at what federal prosecutors have on their side. That new date, January 8th, 2024.
Well, basically, we have to know what the government's proof is in order to know what pretrial motions we need to file. Part of it anyway. And so it was important to be able to go through as much of the discovery as possible before having to file pretrial motions.
Also today, we found out the deadline to have that juror questionnaire done will be on March 1st. That was agreed upon between the attorneys as well as the judge. Again, this federal trial is set to happen in May. Coming up at 10, I'll tell you what we can expect over the next few months leading up to that May trial.
Kayla, it's difficult not to speculate, but why bring in 2 new attorneys from all the way across the state of Tennessee? Any ideas out there?
Daryl, we did ask that question to Attorney Bill Massey. He didn't give an answer. He just said that he was happy to have them on board. But according to other lawyers who I spoke to just for background info, they say there's really not just one reason why he would do that. And they suspect we might get an answer from Massey on that in the coming months.
Again, that's why it's so difficult to not read things into a difficult case like this. Fox 13's Kayla Solomon. Kayla, thank you.
All right, guys. That's the video. Three things I'm going to talk about. Number one is this. I was saying, hey, why is it taking so long? Because they keep bringing up the discovery, like the defense does not have the whole discovery. And I'm like, why is it taking so long with discovery? Then it clicked. There are two different discoveries. One is a state, one is a federal discovery. So discoveries take a long time, especially when there's a lot of paperwork and intangibles going into this thing. So we have to remember, they just got the state. It's still taking time with the federal, discovery. Now they got until January 8th to put their bids in to appeal. So they should be just about by the end of the year getting this discovery enough time, getting enough time with discovery to see what they're going to appeal. That's why you see Bill Massey, the attorney for Emmitt Martin III, was saying, hey, we got to see what they got so we can plan our defense. Now, I'm going to tell you something. That's the first thing. Second thing is this. He had two lawyers out of Knoxville. You seen that? Two, I guess, they're high-profile lawyers to work with him on a case in Memphis. And they're not from here, but, the law is the law. So they got them. It's curious. That sparked interest in my mind. You know what's going on, guys? And I'm going to do a video on this. They're desperate. Bill Massey is desperate. The one that took the life of Tyre Nichols, basically, almost by itself, is who? His client, Emmitt Martin III. You know what I'm saying? Difficult getting him off the hook. Your boy, Desmond Mills Jr., said what? I'm telling. I don't want to be a part of this stuff. You know what I mean? And we've seen this months before. We don't want to be seen together. We don't want to be in the same room because it puts it all on us. That right there lets you know certain officers don't want to be held accountable for the actions of others. Namely, Bill Massey's client, Emmitt Martin III. Everybody trying to distance themselves from him. Now, besides Tredarius Bean's lawyer, right? And the other lawyers that you've seen spoke, the two that been real vocal have been who? Tredarius Bean's lawyer. He didn't hit him. He didn't do nothing. Let him go like you let Hempfield go. They're basically the same officer. That's something else. We ain't gonna get in on that. And then the other person that talked, that they got a lot of press video clips, audio clips, was from who? Bill Massey. And the reason why, he's the main suspect in the one that caused all the injuries on Tyre Nichols, Emmitt Martin III, who's now a truck driver. You believe that? You know what I'm saying? But listen, reason why I bring this up, Bill Massey is desperate. Everybody wants to run from this man, even the people that were at the scene. What does he keep saying? If y'all been keeping up with the trial, what does Bill Massey, the attorney for Emmitt Martin III, keep saying? We might have to move this out of the city. We might have to take this to another place. They mentioned Knoxville, remember? Where them attorneys from? Y'all see the game? He trying to push this trial out there, because the tension and stuff, the frying pan is Memphis. That's where the heat and everything happened. He tried to take them off the burner. He tried to take his client off the burner where it's less hot, less publicity, less people really knowing about it, which I don't know how. It was a national case. And then do it out there. He get out there, all of a sudden, the narrative could change. We don't know the philosophy of how people act in Knoxville, how the jury will be, the race of the jury, mindset of the jury. Knoxville is different than Memphis, even though they're both in the same state. And we know in certain states, and in fact, in all states, you can have people act and think differently depending on what city they from. That's a very smart plan. That's his whole card. He trying to move his client away from them and have him try it out there. Remember, they're getting separate trials. They try to push him out there. He was an officer doing what he had to do to detain the suspect. Now, if the suspect died on the way of such detainment, whose fault is it if the officer is doing his duty? Y'all see the game? They trying to push this out and keep it out of where the epicenter, where it all started. The third thing is this. This whole situation with Tyre Nichols has been draining on a lot of people that have been keeping up with the case. You haven't heard from a lot of other lawyers, but I'm going to tell you right now, all of them are scrambling in one way or another. Now, the lawyers keep in contact with each other because remember, when Desmond Mills did this, that pulled him and Blake Bowlen away from the rest of them because their strategy is not defense no more on offense because why? His penalties already signed, sealed, and delivered, provided that he works on the side of the prosecution against said 4 officers. So he ain't even in this because, I mean, he accepted his fate, signed off on his deal and whatever. And it's up to the judge to honor that. So we take him out of this right now, even though he's just as bad as the rest. But I'm going to tell you, these 4 people right here, they're scrambling. The ship is on fire and they don't know where to go. They're bumping into each other. It's crazy. They're like roaches when you flick the light on. Mass hysteria, running hand over feet. This is going to be interesting. I think he's going to try to do a lot of appeals and all of this stuff and try to push stuff back. Now, the Fed said no matter what you're going to deal with this, you know, in August and May. So we'll see. But the other videos and stuff, they said it didn't tell their reaction after they found out Desmond Mills Jr. was going to be snitching. I would have loved to be a fly in that room when they all found out. The one that bit his nails the most was Shadarius Bean. The one that did the most cussing and talking was Demetrius Haley. I don't know if you noticed when the attorney was talking and said, we were surprised when Desmond Mills Jr. turned on us and said he was going to cooperate with the state. Go back and look at Emmitt Martin's face. He said, yeah, we was surprised. And he's not the only one. Anytime you see somebody being represented and they're talking about them and they make a gesture or something like that, it hit him deep. It hit him deep. He's upset, just like these other officers upset. This is going to be an interesting trial, and I'll be down there to cover it. You know it, and I'm bringing all of y'all with me. But anyway, I'm Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Man, it's late, you can tell. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Justice for Tyre. I'm out.